Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Reader's Workshop. Today we're going to be reading another chapter from Days with Frog and Toad. And after you watch me read this chapter, you're going to answer these three questions. What was the problem? We should be getting pretty good at this, identifying the problem. That's what's going wrong. What was the solution? That's how the problem is solved. How did the problem go away? What ended up happening? Try to answer these in complete sentences. The problem was, the solution was, and then this one I'm especially curious to see, and this is a little bit newer. So we're going to be focusing more on this as we continue on. What do you think the message is and why? So remember, every story usually has a message, or maybe even two messages. There is sometimes no right answer. It depends on what you take from the story. So what do you think the message of this story is? And then tell me why. So answer these three questions after you watch me read. And Dad is behind the camera. Say hello, Dad.
Hello, kids.
All right, this chapter is called The Kite.
Gotta get my Toad voice ready.
All right,
Toad.
sound just like him. The Kite. Frog and Toad went to fly a kite. They went to a large meadow where the wind was strong. Our kite will fly up and up, said Frog. It will fly all the way up to the top of the sky. Toad, said Frog, I will hold the ball of string. You hold the kite and run. So Frog and Toad are planning on flying a kite. Toad ran across the meadow. He ran as fast as his short legs could carry him. The kite went up in the air. It fell to the ground with a bump. Toad heard laughter. 3 robins were sitting in a bush. That kite will not fly, said the robins. You may as well give up. Toad ran back to Frog.
Frog,
Said Toad.
this kite will not fly. I give up.
Right now I can tell there's a problem, and it has to do with the kite. We must make a second try, said Frog. Wave the kite over your head. Perhaps that will make it fly. Toad ran back across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. The kite went up in the air and then fell down with a thud. What a joke, said the robins. That kite will never get off the ground. Nice picture. All right. Toad ran back to Frog.
This kite is a joke,
He said,
it will never get off the ground.
We have to make a third try, said Frog. Wave the kite over your head and jump up and down. Perhaps that will make it fly. Toad ran across the meadow again. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. The kite went up in the air and crashed down into the grass. That kite is junk, said the robins. Throw it away and go home. I love Toad running with his little legs trying to make the kite fly. How do we feel about the robins? Are they being nice? No, they're not being very nice, are they? Toad ran back to Frog.
This kite is junk,
He said.
I think we should throw it away and go home.
Toad, said Frog, we need one more try. Wave the kite over your head, jump up and down, and shout, up, kite, up. Toad ran across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. He shouted, up, kite, up. The kite flew into the air. It climbed higher and higher.
We did it!
Cried Toad. Yes, said Frog. If a running try did not work, and a running waving try did not work, and a running waving and jumping try did not work, I knew that a running, waving, jumping, and shouting try just had to work. The robins flew out of the bush, but they could not fly as high as the kite. Frog and Toad sat and watched their kite. It seemed to be flying way up at the top of the sky. And here they are, looking at their kite, flying high. And that's the end of our chapter. So, Dad, what do you think the problem was? The problem, I would say, is the kite wouldn't fly, right, Dad?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so what did they, that was right? Were you listening? Pay attention. So, if that was the problem, the solution was what? The kite flew. Now, the thing I'm really curious to see is, what do you think the message is? And, what is the lesson of this story? So, answer these questions, post it to Dojo, and watch my next Reader's Workshop.